guys, welcome to this Wednesday edition of the show where I report on the latest in gaming news. And if you do enjoy today's video, please remember to smack the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to smack the subscribe button. But now let's get into our first news report of the day. And it's that in the early hours of the morning, GTA 5 had a bunch of information revealed thanks to some websites that got their hands on the game. If you do want to read the entire thing, I've linked a few links down below. But to save you guys some time from reading all that information, I'm going to touch on the cool things, the important things, and the interesting things about everything that was revealed. Now, as I touch on all this information, these screenshots that are coming up on screen are brand new screenshots, and I have linked them down below if you want to check out higher res images. Anyway, first off, unlike previous GTA games where you'd finish a mission and then just go back into free roam, and then you'd notice that everything's pretty much back to normal and there's no repercussions of what you just did in the mission, well, GTA 5 is going to be different. What I mean is that when you finish a mission, and let's say you're playing as Michael, you see Trevor fly away at the end of the mission in his helicopter. Then when you finish this actual mission, you go into real world. Let's say a few minutes later you decide, hey, I'm gonna see what Trevor's up to. You switch to Trevor and he's still in that helicopter flying away to where he said he's going to fly to. So the other characters in the game are actually doing something productive and contributing to the society in the game and not doing something completely random. So this gives the game a feeling of it actually being alive. And that way it's a lot more realistic and a lot more natural. And speaking of being more realistic, the game's wanted level is a lot more realistic in GTA 5 compared to GTA 4. Because unlike the circle in GTA 4 that would surround you, you have to get away from the police, it's changed in GTA 5 where you actually have a field of view. Well, the police have a field of view so then they can see you, and if you disappear and hide away into a corner or something, they're not going to be able to see you. For example, you could hide under a bridge or something, but I'm guessing it would get more difficult as your wanted level goes up. Because once you hit 3 stars, you're actually going to have helicopters in the sky looking for you, so hiding in a little corner is going to be a lot more difficult. Now, moving away from the wanted level and to the map of the game, we already know that unlike previous GTA games, you'll actually unlock the entire map at once and not have to unlock islands step by step. But what they've actually done is when you press start in your game, you won't actually see the entire map. You actually won't see quite a lot of it. You'll actually have to go and explore that stuff. For example, if you want to go see where Trevor lives in Blaine County, you'll have to go out there and find all the little things to make up the map of that area. So you won't know where all the hidden gems are, where all the stunt jumps are, where things like that are, and you just won't know because it's not on your map. You'll actually have to go discover that, and then it will appear on your map, which is pretty damn awesome. My example that I'm going to use is if you've played Far Cry 3, you know the radio towers, well, they unlock the map. You can actually go to those radio towers. There's no one stopping you, but you have to unlock it by going there. So GTA 5 is similar to that, but without the radio towers. You just go to those certain areas and do certain things. Now, the map is a huge part of the game, but I think that vehicles may be just a little more important. So with that being said, we move to vehicles because they talked about how cars felt, and it's a huge improvement over GTA 4. They no longer feel like they're a boat and all floaty and everything. Instead, they have a lot more traction to the road and they feel a lot more realistic and grip to the streets. Additionally, depending on what type of vehicle you drive, you will get a different experience. So if you pick up some random car off the side of the street, it's going to be a completely different experience to something that you've actually made in the garage. Another thing to point out is that if you go off-roading with a regular sedan, it's going to be a tough thing to handle. Instead, you could get a 4-wheel drive or Trevor's pickup truck, for example, and off-road, and it'll be a lot better of an experience than it would with a regular sedan or hatchback or something. One example they actually used in the article is when Trevor was in his pickup truck, he could actually get away from the police in their regular police cars because they were having trouble going off-roading. And personally, I can't wait to test that out. I can't wait to test out a bunch of stuff in GTA 5 that we just heard about. It's just gonna be epic, and yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy today's GTA 5 dose. Anyway, yeah, the links for everything are down below, and now let's move on from GTA 5 into the rest of the gaming news in this world, and yeah, we move to the sad news.
Sad news! What the fuck?
So, our sad news today is something we shouldn't worry about too much. And that news is that Sony has revealed that the PlayStation 4 will only hold up to 4 controllers. This is actually half of what the Xbox One will hold, which is 8, in case you suck at math. This is also 3 less of the PlayStation 3, which held up to 7 controllers. Now, the reason I said this isn't really sad news is because, well, it's not really sad news. Honestly, who the hell even uses up to 7 or 8 controllers? Yes, it's a nice nice touch, but I just don't see the point of it. Most of us today play games online, so yeah, it's kind of weird that they want to put up to 8 controllers. Then again, having 7 or 8 controllers is a nice touch, and I appreciate that they do that. So for Sony to take away 3 controller options from PlayStation 3 of 7 and then to the PlayStation 4 of 4, it's kind of weird. So that's the only reason it's in the sad news, and I thought I'd report on it because, well, if I didn't, a lot of you would be like, why didn't you report on it? But yeah, anyway, let's just move on to something more important in the big news.
Big news!
Staying with Sony, it looks like they could be revealing a new piece of hardware for the PlayStation 4, because it looks like at Tokyo Game Show, Sony may actually reveal the virtual reality headset. I'm guessing that Sony could be going after this whole Oculus Rift fad, so that may be an option. Then again, more realistically, it's just going to be one of those 3D personal viewers that we saw at like events and stuff a few years ago. And if you don't know about this 3D viewer that Sony made, it didn't really take off. It didn't really go anywhere because it was expensive and it wasn't that great. But it has been a while, so Sony may have done something with it. Maybe they made it into something competitive to the Oculus Rift, and maybe they brought the price down, but we don't know, but we may find out at the Tokyo Game Show very soon. Anyway, that is it for that news report. Moving from Sony stuff to Microsoft to end our day of news. The Xbox One is now in full production following a last-minute CPU tweak. This means that the console is ready for its November release, even though we don't have a specific date yet. Microsoft revealed that the console's CPU has boosted from 1.6 GHz to 1.75 GHz. Anyway, as I mentioned, there is no current release date for the Xbox One, but it looks like they're definitely going to hit that November release period. Additionally, there are reports going around that Microsoft may reveal the release date in the next week or so. And if they do, that's going to be pretty big news. And speaking of the big news, that's the end of the big news today, because now we move on over to the Gorilla Man question. Thanks, Gorilla Man. Okay, guys, the question is, what is your favorite childhood video game memory? So, put your answers down below in the comment section. You could end up on tomorrow's show. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you smack the like button, because I'm Champ Chong Max Australia. Here are the answers to Gorilla Man's previous question.